Heisman frontrunner Trevor Lawrence underwhelmed in his season debut last night versus Tech. Lawrence completed just 56% of his passes for 168 yards, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. Sophomore quarterback also rushed for a touchdown. Clemson did easily go on to win 52-14, but that was thanks in large part to their tailback. Shannon, how much do you think Trevor Lawrence damaged his Heisman hopes right out of the gate?
Skip, it hurt, but not as much as it would have if he did it like Tua did in the SEC championship game, which was right before the final votes were to come in. It's early, so he gets an opportunity. He gets Texas A&M, I think, next week, and then he gets Syracuse. It's the opener. How many people were actually watching this game?
I was.
Yeah, you of course you and I. Mm-hmm. And when you look at what he did once he came into the game, once he came in last year, and you look at the 2 playoff games, it was night and day. Wasn't even close to what we saw against Alabama. Wasn't even close to what we saw against Notre Dame. And Georgia Tech, we just thought, Skip, this was because normally the Heisman favorite, they normally start with an FCS opponent or a lesser tier Division I opponent, Skip.
Yep.
And they have huge numbers. Although Georgia Tech is in a Power 5 conference, nobody thinks Georgia Tech is a powerhouse when it comes to football.
No.
As a matter of fact, anything except academics. But for him to perform like that, Skip, that was a bad performance for him. But like I said, he stubbed his toe. He didn't break his foot.
No,
so, you know, you bandage it up a little bit and you get an opportunity to redeem yourself. But the first game, he has a game like this at the end of the season, it would have carried way, way more weight than what we saw happen last night.
So, weirdly enough, I know if you just glance at the stats, you wince, close one eye, but if you watched it, and I did, I was weirdly impressed by this kid because he did 2 or 3 things where I just said, whoa, this, you want to talk about special. You want to talk about the 2021 NFL draft. Some team's going to be very lucky to have the worst record and first pick, right?
Yeah.
Because even the first interception was the worst throw of the night, but Dabo said he got fooled. I don't know what he was seeing, but he just threw it right to the zone corner who's just squatting. He just throws it right to him. I don't know I don't know if the receiver went the wrong way. I don't know what happened. But could we see what happened after the corner caught the football and took off and looked like he was home free? Could we just see the end of this play? So he throws it right to him. And I think, oh, he's housed. Oh, look who got him. Look at that.
Yeah.
You don't think that corner's going to take some heat and film session that the quarterback just ran him down and knocked him out of bounds? Whew.
Yeah.
Was that not athletic? Whew.
And then they get a goal line stand, so they didn't lose anything.
They didn't lose anything. And Trevor Lawrence made a couple of runs where I just said, wow, the first run for the touchdown, it was only 6 yards. It felt longer than that, but it's a zone read play. Keeper.
But Skip, the one that he's rolling to his left and he throws back across his body.
That was the last play of the first half. It was just pure desperation. It was a bad idea.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give him a little break. He was just trying to make a play. And then how about that rocket bomb that he threw to T. Higgins, who's really good, but again, it's a little bit of a jump ball, but this is a big-time throw and obviously a big-time catch. You know, that's just NFL arm right there. That's just like, whoa.
There's nothing you can do about that.
Okay, nothing you can do. And they're going to do a lot of that.
Yeah.
And Georgia Tech was completely overmatched from the first snap to where it looked like men versus boys, you know, where you're just saying, what is going on here? Aren't they supposed to be in this? Aren't they supposed to be competitive?
Well, Skip, they had to get there late. They've been in study hall. They gonna be how to split an atom and be doctors and how to keep a building upright in a Category 5 hurricane or something of that nature.
Okay, so Trevor Lawrence's biggest problem to win the Heisman is in-house.
Yeah.
Because Travis Etienne, I mean, he is just dynamic, and he broke loose last night for touchdown runs of 90, 48, and 14, and he goes for 205 on only 12 carries. I think somebody else announced themselves as a Heisman candidate.
What people don't realize, he was ACC Offensive Player of the Year last year.
All right.
It was him.
Whew.
And, you know, he had a monster day against the Tide.
He did.
Got overshadowed because Trevor Lawrence was so spectacular.
He was.
But I think he have 18 touchdowns last year on the ground. Dude, he can play. Clemson, and that's the thing. You look at the weapons that they've had, Skip. They had DeAndre Hopkins. They had Sammy Watkins and C.J. Spiller. And,
just keep going.
Yeah, and the Williams kid.
Oh.
And you like, and did he win any championships with those guys?
Interesting. You know, my biggest takeaway from last night was, I'm sorry, St. Nick, it's over.
It's
over.
There you go.
You know why?
There you go, Skip.
Because Clemson is the new Bama. They're the new powerhouse. They're the new invincible dynasty. They are loaded. Everywhere I looked, I saw somebody else. I said, wow, that guy, look at that guy.
I mean, we done got a couple of guys hurt because, you know, St. Nick be thinking it's 1950 and he's still tackling and doing all that stuff and getting buckets of finalists hurt.
Yeah.
So, St. Nick, you need to cut that out now.
They have become a distant second program in college football.
But don't count him out, Skip. Don't count him out now. Don't count on St. Nick out.
I just counted him out.
Tua. Don't count on Tua out. He got another 40 touchdowns in that left arm.
You think so?
Yeah.
So you have 20 interceptions in that left
No.
arm?
Less than 10.
Really?
Less than 10.
Okay. Boy, he was struggling at the end of the year.
Skip.
Huh?
We know what happened, okay? He was hurt. He gonna be hurt this year.
Okay.
No. Yeah, you know it was hurt. Let's give you saw the man knee and ankle. He had surgery.
Okay.
And we all do know where ATN is from, right?
We don't.
Jennings, Louisiana.
Oh, Jennings.
South
ATN.
Louisiana. Yes.
And Skip, who's the favorite to win the Heisman? Remember, we don't normally, when we get favorites, they don't normally win the Heisman. Baker Mayfield, because even when Jameis won the Heisman, you know, he was the favorite. It was Mariota number 2. You know, Derrick Henry was number 8. Skip, you know who was tied for second in the year Derrick Henry won? You never guess who was tied for second preseason. Your boy, Dak.
Oh.
Him and Leonard Fournette.
He'd had a really big year before.
Zeke was the favorite.
Dak carried his team, little old Mississippi State, all the way to #1 in the nation.
And he carried them down to Alabama, and what happened, Skip?
Well, it's called talent.
All I know is Johnny Manziel. All I know is Johnny Manziel went to Tuscaloosa and beat the brakes off him. I know Cam Newton went to Tuscaloosa and did what he did. That's all I'm saying. Now,
Cam was the first pick in the draft.
How many offensive players?
Dak Prescott was the 4th round pick.
How many offensive players from Cam team offense in the NFL?
We got to leave it here, guys. Great stuff.
Okay.
I know you could debate this all day. Clemson's next test comes against Texas A&M. Reports say Ben Roethlisberger will no longer be doing his weekly radio show this season for a local Pittsburgh station. Big Ben often made national headlines from what he said during that show, including, of course, that criticism of Antonio Brown that eventually led to the star receiver's departure. No formal announcement has been made yet, but the station did announce they will have the James Conner show this season. So, Shannon, what does this tell you?
Skip, I think he's trying to win some points with his teammates. Skip, there's an old saying that says people will change for two main reasons. Their minds have been opened or their hearts have been broken. I don't believe Ben is heartbroken that AB and Le'Veon is no longer there. But maybe his mind has been opened that I can't say some of the things that I say publicly. I can't be so blatantly and outwardly critical of my teammates. I guess he thinks this is a part of the leadership that he needs to expand upon and show growth.
Yep.
But Skip, just because you don't have a radio show doesn't mean you can't say dumb things publicly.
True.
And he started this. He started what he said about AB after the game in Denver, in James Washington, because that was really kind of what started. That started earlier in the season, Skip. You remember what? Maybe it was when Antonio, I think it was the second game of the season, when he was throwing the water cooler all on the field because Ben went throwing him the ball in Baltimore, and then he came back next week and he had a big game. Threw him like 20 balls, he caught like 16 or 17. But for me, this was more of a ploy, Skip. I mean, it's not like it's taken away from film study. It's not like Ben has to do something. Skip, we see Tom Brady does a radio show.
He does.
It's a call-in. You spend 10, 15 minutes. They don't ask you any questions, hard questions, because they ask you hard questions, guess what? They're not going to be working for that radio station because people tune in to hear what the player is going to have to say. WWEI, I mean, didn't they get rid of the guy that asked Tom Brady he said that Tom Brady's daughter was a brat or something like that?
Yep.
He's no longer there. So the questions are really nothing. But maybe Ben thinks this is a part of growth that he needs to show leadership and to show that, I get it. But Skip, I mean, just because you don't have a radio show doesn't mean you can't say dumb things.
Nope.
So hopefully he's learned his lesson from this, and he can grow, and it'll be a plus for him.
Will you acknowledge some growth in Ben Roethlisberger at age 37?
I'll see once the season starts.
Okay, that's fair.
To hear him talk.
All right.